Hey guys, pretty nasty sell-off happening right now. So what's going on? Um, I shouldn't say pretty nasty. We all saw what happened last March. That was 35% down. That was S&P 35% down. Right now, I think we're about 7% down on S&P, but Nasdaq is more like 10% down. First and foremost, let's talk about the difference between the S&P and the Nasdaq. S&P 500, the 500 of the biggest companies in the United States, very well diversified by sector, all types of different companies. The Nasdaq is very tech heavy. So right now we are experiencing a sell-off in that is not completely confined. It's kind of a little bit of everywhere, but it's especially present in the tech sector. So what the hell's happening? Why are we selling off? As a sidebar, I I always used to make fun of finance people because they stress way more than artists about everything. I now, as a few years as a finance person, I now stress more when this stuff happens, and I understand why because I have to follow the news so heavily just to understand exactly why we're selling off, so that I can remain relevant, so that I can communicate all this stuff to you. What's going on right now? So right now, the U.S. is working on a $1.9 trillion stimulus package. They are also contemplating a $2 trillion infrastructure bill. There is like $10 trillion in stimulus that's planned right now, in combination with the fact that the United States is vaccinating at an incredibly quick pace. Jobs numbers are all improving. They look to be fully vaccinated, or similar to the way we are, which is fully vaccinated to everyone who wants one, by May. So all of this stimulus is going now, just based on the fact that the United States is opening up right now, they are experiencing a boom. There's pent up demand. People are wanting to do stuff because they haven't done anything for the last year. Throw $10 trillion onto that fire, and what you have is overheating, or the potential of overheating, or investors think that there is overheating. And so, for the first time in many years, we haven't seen legitimate inflation in a really long time, but investors are suddenly worried about inflation. And so bond yields have risen. To give you an idea of what the degree to which we're talking about here, bond yields have risen from about 1.2% per year to 1.5% per year. Now, this is not a case where it's like, oh yeah, 1.5%. Let's sell all of our stocks and buy bonds that are yielding 1.5% because that's way better than 1.2%. No, that's not really it. What we're more worried about is debt becoming more expensive, stuff like variable rate debt, variable rate mortgages, that type of thing becoming more expensive to service. In the grand scheme of things, what really gets hurt at a time like this is high multiple, high growth companies that are not yet profitable, which are the types of companies that have been very successful since interest rates were cut back in March of last year. I don't know. Maybe I should panic more. I don't. This is not something that I'm particularly panicking about. A 10% correction in tech stocks is relatively normal. I mean, these are volatile stocks. They have been winners. I think 10% puts us back to where we were probably a month or two ago. And that's not the end of the world. But we're monitoring for inflation, and we're monitoring for bond yields, and there you are. So sell off mostly in the tech sector. I'm not advising anybody to do anything drastically different, with a couple exceptions, but that's never mind. All right, that's all.